Hi, my name is Miguel Medrano. I'm a freshman intending to study Core 6, Electrical Engineering and Computer Science.
I'm Elizabeth Ryder. I'm also a freshman, interested in aerospace engineering.
I'm Con Wynn. I'm a freshman and I'm interested in mechanical engineering and business.
And I'm Maximilian Bajer, and I'm a freshman. I'm interested in EDCS in the field of nuclear science and engineering. And we are the Six Pistols. So, as I'm sure you guys are kind of getting tired of hearing today, we're going to go through a brief recap of the challenges that we had to force our quadcopter to endure. So for the first one, we had to have our quadcopter go through 5 loops in a pentagonal shape, each loop of which had a different height. For the second challenge, we had 5 stations of 3 different types at which our copter had to undergo different criteria. So for the first type of station, the image station, we had to hold our copter still while flying long enough to take a picture of an object on a pylon. The second type, we had to pop different balloons using our quadcopter, and then we had to have a gas sensor on board the quadcopter to determine what type of gas was present inside of the balloons. And then finally, we had a danger zone that we just had to have our quadcopter avoid. So when we heard the initial criteria for the challenges, these were the solutions that we at first came up with. We felt that for the first challenge, where we had to fly through hoops, we could make an autonomous system. And quickly, I'm just going to run you through the logic that we were going to use. So we were going to hard code our drone from the starting position to the very first hoop. Then we were going to use an ultrasonic sensor to determine the distance between the drone and the ground. And we would have the drone fly as low as possible without touching the ground. Then we would have it turn toward the next hoop. It would fly forward until a second ultrasonic sensor facing forward on the drone would tell the drone when it had found the first pylon. And then we would initiate a while loop. So while this second ultrasonic sensor was triggered, the drone would fly upward until the sensor was no longer triggered, which would tell the drone that it clearly had found the hole in the hoop, and it would fly forward and continue the loop. Now, while we thought the logic was sound in theory, we felt that there were many obstacles that would have, and many issues, any one of which could have caused a huge issue in making catastrophic failure. These included whether or not the ultrasonic sensors would trigger, if they would give us the proper feedback, and most importantly, the fact that our drone would drift while indoors. So we felt if you couldn't even have a drone that would stay stable, be autonomous, we felt it would very often crash into hoops, and it would create a lot of problems that would unaccountable, that we couldn't account for. For the second challenge, the one with the 5 stations, we felt that we would use a manual control system, and in order to top the balloons, we felt we would use a single needle that would be on the bottom of the drone in such a way so that it would not interfere with landing. So if you were to have the base of the drone like in this type of shape, the needle would be facing down like right about here. And Miguel is going to talk you through how we decided on going from this initial solution to our current solution. So, yeah.
Thank you, Max. We wanted to compare our initial solution to any new ideas that came to mind. For example, using a soldering iron to pop our balloons, or maybe attaching an extra analog camera to compensate for the 4-second delay of the GoPro camera. For this, we created and shown a quality function deploy, or a decision matrix. This allowed us to compare our different proposals for our design. It allowed us to choose a design based on the engineering metrics we thought were most important. For example, reliability and safety. For each design, we assigned a score, either 1, 3, or 5, and multiplied them by the weights on the rightmost column. We added these numbers shown on the bottom row of totals, and this allowed us to compare and choose our final design. So what we decided for competition for the first challenge went from an autonomous control to a manual control. And our second challenge was pretty much what we had originally thought about, except what we decided on was using 2 needles attached to the front and still using the GoPro camera to take pictures at the image stations. And now to give you a more descriptive image of our final design, I'll pass it on to Kyle.
Alright, so if you look here at our quadcopter, we placed the QEM resistor in the front where we thought it would have the most exposure to the gas once the balloon was popped. Connected to the QEM resistor is the Arduino in the back, which is connected to an LED light in front of the GoPro camera. The LED light would turn on once the gas was detected, and we wouldn't have to use a Wi-Fi module or buy more supplies instead of using what was already provided for us at the D-Lab. The GoPro was faced downwards to take the picture, and since we didn't have an analog camera to work with and we believed that manual control was best, we decided to just use the GoPro to take pictures instead of using it to see through. Well, it's not here, but the needles are at the base of the legs of the quadcopter, right here and right here, which work very efficiently. So the applications of our quadcopter can be found in many fields: agriculture, defense, or atmospheric sciences. In agriculture, we can fly over crops to look for toxins or check the ripeness of crops or cattle or such. For defense, we can go over, say, war zones and detect biochemical weapons that somebody has deployed at Much March. For atmospheric sciences, we can, in real time, detect the carbon dioxide levels in the air that we are producing. There are so many applications to this that there's a good future in looking at gas sensors on drones. So if I'll pass it on to Liz to talk about the cost and...
Okay, most of our materials were generously supplied by the OME, especially the most expensive ones. In the end, we only spent about $6, and we joked that we should be called $6 pistols because our drone was so frugal. And this project involved a lot of skills that we would have needed, including circuit design, knowledge of chemical resistors, and programming. And so while each of us had our own skills that we brought to the table, there's nothing really that on the drone that we can point to and say, I made that. Because we cooperated the entire time and collaborated on all of these modules, that it was really a team effort. And now to Max for the results of the competition.
All right, so we're just going to show you a couple of quick clips of, well, you guys have already seen the whole video, but we're just going to show you a couple of clips of us performing this. So that was us in the first challenge, and this is up to the second. Yeah, luckily we did. So for the first challenge, we were able to successfully fly the drone through all 5 loops without making contact with any of the loops or the pylons. And we were able to do so in relatively decent time. And the second challenge was slightly less ideal, in that we were able to take pictures at both interstations. And we were able to avoid the danger zone for the entirety of the competition. The gas sensors were where the issues came in. While flying the drone, we popped the balloons at the first gas station. But while we were flying, one of our team members noticed that the LED light that was going to indicate whether or not specifically Clorox in one of the balloons was present had been disconnected. So there was no circuit that was going to be completed, so the LED would not blink and detect it. So of course, as you saw in the video, I had to quickly repair the system. But from there, we went to the second gas station and we tried to pop balloons. And because the LED did not light up, we cannot be sure whether or not simply the gas sensor didn't light up or we had detected a different gas that wasn't Clorox. And so we wouldn't be able to use with certainty logic to determine whether or not Clorox was at either gas station. In terms of the lessons that we learned, we've learned a lot about communication, trying to organize each other to make sure that the best member of the team is working toward the best suited job for them and for the betterment of the entire team. And we've learned a lot, frankly, the most important thing would be about planning. So we've learned that if there is a part that is very difficult to manufacture, needs to be delivered to get it weeks in advance, we now know that we need to get working very early, because often that could result in very impromptu little all-nighters that lead to more mistakes and ultimately make a less successful product. In terms of what we would have done differently, if we could go back, we would have looked at the gas. So one thing I should mention, all the gas sensors that we made them by hand using single-walled carbon nanotubes. If we could go back, we would use printed gas sensors, which would be, we feel would be a lot more reliable and consistent in their resistivity, which would make using the Arduino and programming code for it a lot easier and a lot more reliable. Second, we would definitely have attempted an autonomous system, because we know it's incredibly difficult to get a drone to fly through all these hoops without user input. But it would have, whether it is succeeded or not, we know we learned a lot from it. We learned about electrical systems, about programming, and it would have benefited us. And well, that's what I think. Before we open it up to questions, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors. In particular, we'd particularly like to thank 3M for sponsoring our team. We'd also like to thank the OME and all of the instructors and TAs who have been helping us with this project. Without you guys, we never could have gotten this far as we did. Thank you guys so much. Any questions?
We answer one. So you took a different approach from what we successfully did on this team, where people have specific disciplines, and you seem to be much more merged. How did you make sure that a product was done if no particular person had a product or discipline that they were attached to?
I think it was really communication was key. The fact that, I mean, we all knew each other before this, so I guess we might have cheated a little bit in that area. But we just made sure to keep in contact with each other and made sure that everything was done on time. I don't think it was a real issue.
They were randomly assigned though.